Hey guys, what's up? My name is Henry aka Ninfreak and welcome to the analysis of my reload edit ASUS Spirit. This was requested by a few people here on the channel. I really appreciated that you guys are interested in my work. So without further ado, let's get right into this, and the first things you're gonna need are Sony Vegas and obviously the clip you wanna edit, and you also need the Sapphire Effects plugin for Vegas. This is a plugin that I use for most of my effects. If you don't have that, then you cannot follow my instructions. Second, right click onto your media file, properties, disable resampling. Thank you very much. I absolutely hate it when people don't turn that off. It will give you a way cleaner image, because if you have variations in frame rate, Vegas is trying to fill these missing frames out. This will give you some ghosting after images, however you want to call it, frame blending. That does not look nice, especially not when you have a slow motion edit, so try to avoid that. So let's come to the first real effect. So yeah, I've got some basic velocity curves over here. You go to the track, curves, velocity, basic Sony Vegas use, and you just animate that for your beat drop. So you go a bit into speed and then boom, it drops to the slow motion. What I did here as a transition, I applied the Sapphire Edge Rays effect. So first of all, those are dark rays, so you want to click enable dark rays, otherwise they are not there, and you choose black as your primary color for your rays. And what I did next was I got to the ray brightness and pressed the clock button that gives you this animation keyframing menu. What I did was put the brightness to 0, so the effect is not visible, the rays, and then it goes all the way up to 10. And then I did the exact same thing here in reverse. So you have that as a transition. What I had here also was a color correction, but it was with Magic Bullet Looks, and Magic Bullet Looks always crashes my recording for some reason. So I deactivated the effect. Trust me, it was there. And yeah, what I did here was I removed the color correction and just used some color curves to increase the contrast. So right here you can see this is the original footage. It's a bit grayish and I absolutely hate that. So yeah, I enhanced the contrast, and now the image I think looks way better. What I wanted to do with this edit was just to show you guys just how beautiful this game looks. Shadow Warrior 2 is a beautiful game, especially when it comes to the shading and the all the light effects, and I wanted to bring this message across. So what I did, I didn't use any other color corrections here to have like a very clean image that is, well, sticks to the original footage of the original looks to the game. So no like color correction where everything is a bit more blue or something, or made the game look more cold, or applied some light streaks or whatever. I just wanted to have the original footage with a bit more contrast, with a bit more color variety, if you will. So let's get to the next effect. Whenever there was effect, I made some cuts, so the effect is only there, only calculated when I need it. So I saved some render time, which is always neat. What I did here was I used the Sapphire lens flare. I animated both hotspot and pivot. So as you can see, it is moving over the G36. What I just simply did was took both points and changed their position from beginning to end. And to have a smooth transition between the shots, I just applied fading in and fading out here. So it's not just cut away, but it's like a transition. And let's come to my absolutely favorite effect to use for reload edit. Put the magazine into spotlight. I absolutely love that. So what I did here, I used the cookie cutter. If I go to cookie cutter, activate the border, you can see that I tried to track the magazine. So I animated the center point here. Again, I pressed the animate button, this clock right here, set some keyframes for all the movement here, so it is moving along the magazine. When I turn off the border and deactivate the other tracks, you can actually see this is the magazine masked out. Of course, it is not as accurate and precise as a real mask, but it works for the sake of the effects, and it is very easy and fast to make. And also put the feather all the way up, so you don't get any pixelation, and yeah, if you haven't worked well that precise, you don't notice it as fast. So let's turn everything back on. What I did next was applied the SHA's Race plugin again under the cookie cutter. And what I did here, at first the spotlight point, so where the light is coming from, is set onto the light reflection of the weapon, so it looks like the weapon is shining onto the magazine. And what I did next was animate the colors. So as you can see here, I have this color transition, and yeah, it's just changing the color. I absolutely love this effect for some reason, and yeah, this is how I make it. You can also use some other effects with that, as I show you guys here, where I did the exact same thing with the cookie cutter again, and then I applied the edge detect effect. This makes a little border around your edges, and I thought that looks actually pretty nice. Puts the magazine into spotlight, and yeah, that's it. Moving on, we have this effect where it's like a shockwave as soon as Lo Wang puts in the magazine into the weapon with some strength. I wanted to imply that you really have to slap that magazine into the mag well, so I made the shockwave. What I did here, I used the media generators, got to color gradient, choose the circle here, applied that, got a mask where I cut it in half. So as you can see here, it's actually just the half circle going over the weapon. And what I did next, I got to the track effects, choose custom effects, and what I used was Sony height map. It is also applied here, already applied here. I didn't make any changes. I didn't want it to, this effect to be too strong, so I just let them at default. And now it's moving like this, like it's yeah, applying some height as the effect implies. Looks like some shockwave or water, however you see it. And this effect is using a lot of CPU power, a lot of render time goes onto this effect. So what I did, I made a right click onto the track itself, choose the curves, the first one here, where you can set keyframes with a double click, so when the track is active and when not. So I just applied it when the effect is needed, so it's all, only calculated at those points, only rendered at those points in time, and yeah, it saves some render time, and it's cool. What I also did at some point, should be here I guess, yes, I did a little screen pump, a really old school effect that I haven't used in quite a while, so I wanted to kind of showed some love again. What I did, I made a keyframe here, got a little bit into the image, yeah, zoomed in, and I yeah, counted down 5 frames and set it back to here is an original, zooms in and back to original, and then I made a right click on all those points and set them to smooth. So yeah, it's not linear or fast or slow, it is smooth and looks nice. Moving on, we have this effect. This is again the race plugin, not edge race. This, oh yes, it was edge race. Okay, sorry, my mistake. It was edge race again. This time I even masked the arm out. Very simple. Yeah, just a mask effect over here with some high feather. So yeah, feathers, smooth borders, whatever. At 20 pixels, and it goes inverse, and then I just applied the S edge race again. What I did here, I animated the center point, so it is, as you can see here, the center point is moving all over Lo Wang's arm. I thought this looks actually pretty nice, so I made this, and of course here again we have fading in and fading out. Moving on, we have an effect that I guess no one actually noticed. I used the cookie cutter again to cut out the lights, the lamps. So as you can see here, when I activate the border, it is set around those lamps that hang here. And then we had the edge, just the race this time, not edge race, just the normal S race. Put the color to red, and what I did here was just animate the brightness. So it is at 3.81 brightness and goes back to 0. So it looks like that the brightness of the lamps is increasing to the beat, so it moves. I just copied that, put the yeah, cookie cutter to the point where it is needed, and of course move the center point of the race to the lamps, made it for all those 3 lamps here, and then next what I did here, just copied that and applied it to those 3 tracks here, so that all those lamps are glowing a bit, yeah, nicer, a bit higher. And that's actually it. That's all this edit is about. Of course, I had also syncing going on, but this is basic editing stuff. And just let everything fade out, and then we have the final product. So here I really played around with rays and colors, and I think that actually looks pretty nice. If you have trouble understanding something, yeah, write a comment, ask me, and I'll give you some more tips if you need them. This was the analysis. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I could, I don't know, inspire you, help you out a little bit. And if you want more tutorials, write a comment, let me know. I hope you understand everything. I hope you have a nice and wonderful day. And until we see again, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye.